I turned 81 last November, and I'm trying to keep up my backpacking, though I love it so much. And I've been looking for a couple of good days weather-wise this winter. Today may be the best of all. It's going to be 70, around 70 high, and low 55, and then again 70 almost tomorrow. Only negative is there's a chance, less than 50-50, of rain tomorrow morning, so I may get wet. But today is absolutely perfect. Blue sky up there, puffy clouds all around. And I'm hiking from Leatherwood Ford in the Big South Fork, Leatherwood Ford Bridge, to the Angel Falls area. Camp there, and a midday hike up to the overlook above it. Here's a map of my hiking route starting at the Leatherwood Forge Bridge and going to a camp below the Angel Falls overlook. There is the Leatherwood Ford parking area where my car is parked. There's the former bridge. I'm standing on the new bridge, Leatherwood Ford Bridge. Just a few days ago, that bridge was totally covered by a really high river flow. And then crossing over the bridge, which there's not much traffic at all this time of year, I could sit down in the middle of the road and be safe. And there's looking upstream. Again, last September, this view here was so different. There were islands down there, just a little stream of water, maybe 8 feet wide or so, and not much water at all, whereas now it's running pretty good, but not as much as a few days ago when it was really flooding. Here's the view of 3 days ago, looking upstream, flooding, and here's the view in September 2023. Again, the very same view. I'll be hiking today mainly on the John Muir Trail, which starts at the west or north end of the bridge. Some steps lead down to the trail that follows along the river. There's the old bridge that was used for dozens and dozens of years. It was what I first crossed the Big South Fork on in the early 1970s, but it was replaced by the modern bridge up there sometime, maybe in the 80s, I suppose. And here's an amazing picture I found on the internet showing a school bus crossing the old bridge. A few days ago we had lots of rain and the river was really flooding, and this gives you an example, a good visual, a clue as to how high the water got. The water's down there now, and when it was flooding, see the bare areas down there, no leaves, it backed up at least to right up there. All that was covered with water. And very shortly, the sides of the gorge are covered with cliffs like that one. There's a canoe that was marooned somehow, and gives you an idea of how far up the water got. The trail goes in and out of a lot of these little coves. I've crossed, this makes 3 small streams already, so lots of water. This is the trail marker for the John Muir Trail, which I'm on, a hiker-only trail. Unlike many of the trails in the Big South Fork or allow horses, which often mess them up. But this one is hiker only. My first experience with Big South Fork was a canoe trip in the mid-70s with friend Joe Congleton. We canoed in an aluminum canoe. We didn't know much about canoeing. From Leatherwood Ford down to Station Camp. Went right through here. And the water was really low, so we had to pull the canoe through some rapids. And unfortunately, Joe lost his wedding band in one of the rapids. The end of the hike is pretty much visible. The river turns right down there, and the campsites are to the left, right at the base of that cliff. And at the top is the overlook of Angel Falls, and Angel Falls is somewhere down there. The trail I'm on is following, I think, an old vehicle road, probably from logging times. Up there's the bluff, the overlook. There's potential tent sites. And I was wrong, the falls are around the bend there, Angel Falls, not right at the base of that big bluff. Most people, including every trip I've done, we portage the falls because they're pretty difficult to canoe through. I've only seen one couple. They hiked on past me and just were returning, and they told me the bridge across this creek, which is, I think, way up there, is totally washed out. There's a piece of the bridge that washed out, and problem is there's nowhere to get down. The bank is so steep and muddy. There's nowhere to get down, so I come up this far. And I decided to camp without crossing the creek in this area. This is where I'm getting water, right below my tent, right up there. And the river is down there where the light, the sun is hitting the other side of it. Well, by 4:30 I've got the tent up and I got water and pretty much everything put away, and I'm tired. I guess the age has something to do with it. And while the water is purifying, dripping, I opened a packet of asparagus. That's really good. I don't know where I got it or how I got it, but asparagus with rosemary and oregano. Kind of a nice appetizer for sure. Well, there's my tent, and I just came down to the creek there and managed to cross right there without getting wet. It's pretty deep in places, but I was able to find something. I got waterproof boots, so not a problem. And steep climb out the other side. I'm going to go down to the point. But essentially the bridge being out will stop backpackers. I would not have wanted to do what I just did with a backpack on. So no backpacking beyond this point, which a woman a minute ago came up, and she was going to go on to Bandy Creek, I think, or something from here, but she turned around and is going back because she couldn't cross. Well, what happens is there's my tent. Trail goes on up there, and the bridge is out, but originally, before the bridge was out, the trail came right back down to here. Continues on down up and gradually works its way up to the overlook, but I don't think I've got time nor the energy to get up there. So I'm just going to day hike down to the point above the river. The John Muir Trail comes right across there and then goes up that way to the lookout and then continues on. And this is kind of a man-made trail I'm on that went down to the river. Well, after a steep climb up and then back down, the point Fall Creek that I'm camped on the right, and then the Big South Fork, and some great campsites here. Although not used recently, that fire pit has not been recently used. But on the other hand, the beavers have been busy. They've cut that one down completely and have been cutting off the branches for food and to build dams with. A lot of debris down there. Again, that's Fall Creek. No way to cross down here for sure. And then the Big South Fork. Looking downstream from the point at Fall Creek in the river, I think probably Angel Falls is somewhere just down there. You can see some white caps there, some rapids, and some big rocks. And as I recall, it's been a long time since I either canoed or hiked down here. The falls are down to the left of the rocks there. The beaver cut tree makes a great tree to sit on and to look out and watch the river rolling by. Great spot. There's no one else around, I don't think. Other side or this side. Well, here's the trail that goes up and across the bridge that used to be there. Now when you just come up and see the bridge, you can kind of see it right there. Yeah, there it is. Crosses in a really rocky place, so you couldn't cross there without the bridge, which is why I and other people, I guess, have crossed on down a little, but it's not easy on down. So the bridge being out is really an obstacle. Stop. Well, it's around 6:30, and I've got a fire started, obviously, starting to cook dinner, and sunset is just about right now, I think. It's getting cooler, but hopefully it's not going to be too cool tonight. Predicted low in Oneida was 55. And I'm trying something new tonight called Farm to Summit Pueblo and Beans and Rice, a southwestern twist on a classic, honoring the original cliff dwellers of the Four Corners area of the Southwest, and it's vegan. So it sounds good, but we shall see. I've got some Cholula sauce to go with it, and we'll see. Everything's pretty dry, but of course there's rain in the forecast, so maybe tomorrow morning it'll be wet again. Totally isolated. I saw 7 people today, one backpacker, and the rest of them were day hikers. I got into bed around 8, read until 10:30, slept pretty well, and then 7 a.m. this morning it started raining until around 9. Breakfast in the tent because it may rain again. It's kind of looking like it. Great campsite. Well, I'm back on the John Muir Trail. I camped down there. There's a classic V for canoeing. See the green water making a V into the white water. You go right down to the point of the V in a canoe or kayak. There's the abandoned canoe. It was really early for wildflowers, but I did see this one, a halberd-leaved violet, I think it is. Lots of great sandstone bluffs as I get close to the trailhead. There's the bridge, and right there is my car. Well, it's just a little after 12 and about 2.3 miles, and I'm crossing the bridge and just about to the trailhead parking lot. A really good short backpack, and luckily the rain held off. It's rained between 7 and 9, but after that, although it was forecast, I didn't have any rain at all while I was walking, so really good.